cattle are sure liking them wheel lines running there. Getting them wet. Hot outside. There's a bull there doing his job. Anyway, everybody's got hay down and everybody's got hay wet and rained on, and you can see how bleached looking that hay is. That's a good way to lose $15, $20 a ton on hay, is get it rained on, if not more. But I'm going out here to do the old T7070. He said the stack, this field he was in, the stack broke loose on him, and the field was so rough. So we're heading. Oh, no wagon. We're heading out there to see if we can weld it together, because he called New Holland and they wanted like, it's like $1,600 or something for the exhaust stack. And he said, shit, go out and weld it together if you can. He says, we could put a lot of welding rod in that for $1,600 bucks. And I said, yeah, you sure can. I did a backhoe the other day for a guy over in Bonanza, and his operator had run under a low tree branch with it, and the tree branch hung up on the stack and ripped it off the muffler up underneath the hood. And they wanted $700 bucks for that little 580 Super M backhoe stack, so we went over there and welded that together for him and charged him, I think I charged him $200 bucks. I spent more time driving out there. It was damn near a 45-minute drive to get out there. Some of these guys, oh, you go, you feel sorry, you feel bad for them. And gee whiz, $700 bucks for some of these parts, some simple thing like that. But after this, after we get finished trying to scab this thing back together here, I got a 6415. It might be the same one. That guy's got two of them. The one I did the fuel lines on that one video, he said that he had John Deere out last year looking at something on one of those tractors, because I was too busy to get to it. I remember him calling me last year for one of them for something, and he said he had him diagnose that, and the guy said the pump was bad. So I'm going to verify it just to make sure, and I'm going to put my flow meter on it and do a little test in there and make sure that that pump's bad. We'll restrict the flow on it, get the oil warmed up, and what you kind of hate to do because you can pull the pump off. And we may not even get that warmed up. We might just restrict the flow on it and to about 2,000 psi and see how many gallons per minute it puts out, and get the service advisor out and see what the spec calls for on it. And those 6415s are open center. They just got gear pumps in them. Really, they usually don't go out that often though, which I sure like the piston pumps a lot better. Closed center system than the open center systems on tractors. It's just more reliable, it seems like. And them gear pumps are. Seems like gear pumps seems like they take a shit quite a bit on you. But that's just my opinion. I know I've changed way more gear pumps than I've ever changed the piston pumps. Seems like the piston pumps just last longer. Yeah, the piston pumps are more complicated systems. I mean, you got your standby pressure, and you got your load sense system and compensator on your pump, and you're going to have your load checks in your valves, and then your what do you call it, your dime valves or your shuttle valves. But other than that, they're really not that bad. I mean, they can be really an ass kicker when you get something like that 6125M that I had, when you got a valve block. And that's what was wrong with that one. We put a hitch control valve on it. I separated the stack again, put a hitch control valve on it like 2 months later when they got done using it, because they didn't want to park it. And that fixed it. But if you get one that's cracked like that, across the load sense port to a return port or something, and it dumps all your load sense pressure off, that block before it ever gets back to the compensator to stroke the swash plate on the pump, yeah, I mean, it can be an ass kicker trying to figure out what the hell's going on with it. So, I mean, I did process of elimination on that one. I mean, there's no, you can follow the diagnostic trouble tree as far as you go, and then that thing didn't really, basically all that thing said, for the problem that I was having, I was getting into their troubleshooting part on service advisory, and just basically said there is a problem in the load sense passages somewhere. Well, no shit. So then you just got to start. It's really helpful if you've got another tractor somewhere that you can put some, you know, take another valve off and start doing process elimination one at a time. And that's kind of how I finally figured it out. Finally figured out the hitch control valve was the problem. I finally took that other tractor and completely separated that stack and started putting pieces on one at a time. And when I got to the hitch control valve, and that's when it screwed up on me, is when I put the other old, I put the hitch control valve off the other tractor, just the hitch control valve. The first time I put the whole stack on there and everything worked fine, which really didn't tell me nothing. And so then the second time I took it off, I separated it, thinking a little more clearly, thinking, well, let's just take one section at a time off and figure out which one's messed up. And we did, and basically I put the hitch control valve on there, then everything started working. And then I put the old hitch control back on again, and then it went right back to its no load sense and all that crap. And I mean, I looked at that valve, looked at that valve with a flashlight and tore the load checks out of it and the spools out of it. I couldn't see no crack anywhere in it. I just couldn't see it. But anyways, it's all working good. We'll go out here and weld this up, and I'll probably show you. We'll see how screwed this up. He said that the stack was banging around there, beating on the cab. This filter hasn't been torn out of there. He leased this place, and this one filled. I remember when I was, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I used to come out here and do some moonlighting when I worked for another company. I'd come out here and work on these guys' feed trucks and stuff, and I remember this field having alfalfa, but that's been a long time ago. Shoot, that was 10 years ago, and they probably haven't had anything planted in it since then. But the field itself, I guarantee you, I know the guys that own the place, they didn't take their alfalfa stands out very often. They got every penny they could out of them. Usually they got so badger infested and squirrel infested that you couldn't even, you'd drive one of your, like a 1075 harrow bed, we'd be hauling hay through them, and you had to take it easy, man. You'd hit some of them badger holes and break leaf springs, and then the whole fucking front end of the bell wagon would hit the ground, about throw you through the window. I've seen some crazy shit out in hayfield, stuff on bell wagons getting broke. I used to run bell wagon a whole lot. I worked for a custom haying outfit for a while. That's all they did was haul hay. Right after I got out of high school, before I went in the Navy, and we ran bell wagons all the way up to the Willamette Valley, and we hauled hay up there. I mean, we almost hauled hay year round. Not year round. We probably a good 7-8 months out of the year we hauled hay. Okay, what do we got here? Oh yeah, busted it right there. Busted it right there. Man, that almost looked like it's cast or something. Almost. Is there anything on the... There's nothing on top to support it. I mean, it's just kind of hanging there. It's just kind of hanging out there. See if we can get it clocked back to where it used to be. And I'm pretty certain I can weld that fairly good. that back up. That's not a problem. Guy the other day asked me, hey, can you think you can weld this? And I was kind of being a smart ass, as I can weld the crack of dawn in your ass. Yeah, I need to beat on it or get it back over here. It's got one fragment holding it on, and it's kind of laid over a little bit and bent. Well, get my welding leads out. Get my welding leads out and get a hammer and hit that sumbitch with a punch. See if I can get it back over there where it needs to be. And I'm going to weld on it, so contrary to some of the opinions of my viewers, I'm going to unhook the battery. And actually, I had a viewer comment out the other day, and I just kind of double checked myself, and I was wondering, you know, am I telling people right about unhooking these batteries? Well, got a very good friend of mine that is an electrical engineer and works for Boeing Aircraft Company up in Washington. So I called him and I asked him, I said, hey Will, should I unhook the batteries on stuff when I'm welding on them? He goes, yeah. He said, that's a no-brainer. I said, well, I'm being told it's just an old myth. And he goes, no, it's not a myth. And he said, that's a procedure that we follow. He said, yeah, that's just a no-brainer. He says, you're taking a controller or a transistor or resistor that's in something that's rated for a certain amount of voltage, and you're over voltaging and over amperaging it when you do it. He says it's pretty common sense. Why is there surge protectors on appliances? Why do they tell you in a lightning storm to unplug your appliances from your house? And to be honest with you guys, I personally, one time I had a log truck. The guy had an aluminum headache rack on the log truck, and he wanted me to weld it. And I had a TIG welder when I worked for the company. And he was in a big hurry. I just climbed up there, TIG welded his aluminum headache rack all back together, looked all nice and pretty. Truck was running when it came in there. Son of a bitch wouldn't start after I got done. And the guy from CAT came out and he said, yeah, you fried the ECM because you didn't unplug the batteries. And that's, I'll tell you what, ever since then, I unplug them goddamn batteries every time. Every once in a while I'll do something. I think it's, you know, the TIG, I don't know if the TIG puts out high frequent and that made a difference. But I mean, I've forgotten to do it numerous times on stick welding or MIG welding something and got away with it. But all it takes is one time. You know, and I'm sure somebody's going to say, well, maybe that's just a, you know, maybe it's just a freak thing. His ECM went out. Maybe so, you know. But I don't know. It makes sense to me if you... I don't know, the guy said it makes a better buffer or something if you got the grounds hooked up and better grounds, so you can put more current through it, is what I'm thinking. But didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It seems like to me if you incomplete the circuit, it can't be damaged. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I called Will there and he kind of confirmed my thoughts on that. I didn't think I was too far out of line on that anyway. Okay. Well, it's hard to get to some of these spots. Probably should have took some more shit off of it. Hard to get to. Looks like shit up in there, but the places I did actually could get to fairly good. It actually welded good. Yeah, it ain't too bad for exhaust fucking shit. Boy, it's just a bad design, really. There's nothing supporting that thing. Absolutely no support. There needs to be a brace on the top of that. He wanted me to gusset it somehow, and the only thing that I can really see to do without, I'm not welding or fucking drilling holes in that cab corner post, I'll tell you that. That's the only thing I can really do is take a piece of angle iron on this shielding here and go up from here to here maybe. Try to help support it. I mean, that's about all I can do. I brought some angle iron with me. It is kind of a shitty design. The way they got that 90 there and no damn metal up there high supporting that. I guess we'll just gusset it. Just take this angle iron, cut a chunk off there, and go from here to maybe here. See if it'll hold together. That's what the owner wants. I told him that's about all you're really going to be able to do with that. I mean, yeah, I don't want to go up there on this corner post of that cab and be welding shit and drilling shit and messing around there. And you might be able to take a piece of strap and a clamp or something and go from there to that mirror bracket, but you'd have to find longer bolts, and I mean, it'd just be a goddamn nightmare. With this shielding here, and if you have to pull the stack off, you're going to have to cut it off. Well, not really. You can pull this all as an assembly. You just pull the whole damn thing off if you have to spin the tractor, because I'll probably be the one doing it. We'll see if we can help it some. Alright, so on this 6415, we're going to go to 140 degrees Fahrenheit on the oil temperature, go to 2300 RPM, activate the SCV, pay attention to the direction of flow, determine the flow rate, repeat measurement. Well, okay. Fully open the restrictor on the tester. Okay. So ooh, that's hot. And we're like maybe 7 gallons a minute. Let's go opener wide open. Go to 2300 RPM. Let's see what kind of flow we get. That's 2500. Go to 24. 2300. We got what is that? $10, $12, $14, $16, see, $10, $16, $18, $20, maybe 12 gallons maybe. Get the oil a little warmer. up there. Oh, honey. Tag on the other side, huh? Yeah, there used to be a tag right there, but it's gone. I'm not sure what model, what pump he's got. We'll get that oil nice and hot. How many hours this thing got on it? 369 hours, and they're saying the pump's bad on it already? I find that hard to believe. I'm thinking he's got the 1.4 pump, and he's pretty damn close to flow where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna call him and ask him what the dealer or what the tractor was doing. Let me call this guy. Well, the hotter the oil gets, the worse it gets. Saying it's about 11 gallons per minute. It's 3 gallons a minute lower than what it should be. Can't believe 369 hours it's got a pump problem already. That's pretty unheard of. That is not right. Okay. I got the pump loose. That's full of suction plant, so I get on that one bolt. Why she shit the bed, Fred? Let me let these guys out. Come on, guys. Now that the guy's done loading the truck over there, you can get out. Let's see what we got here. And now our small parts are in. That guy wants to cut hay. Hey, babe. Baby, you're always munching on something. Let's see here. There. Let's see here. Tap on this little bit stuck to the housing. Oh yeah, it's junk. Piece of shit aluminum housing pump. Show you guys, come out here in the light. 369 hours on that pile of shit. Unfucking believable, it really is. Let's get out here and further in the light. See where the ridge is right there? Can you see the ridge? And the heat marks on the housing. That one's not as bad as that one is, but it's junk. See how the bushings are worn on the end? 369 hours. Shit, he changes oil at 250. But you wonder though, I don't know, man. You wonder if these guys hooked this thing up to a closed center system and ran it on open center. That's what you wonder. Well, I gotta call Deere and get a pump for this. This thing's no good. Scrap iron. One thing I might save is the fittings out of it. The rest of it can go in the garbage. Aluminum housing piece of shit what it is. Cast iron pumps way better. Even if you got some dirty oil, they're way more forgiving. It don't take much to wipe out one of these aluminum housing pumps. It won't take much at all.